Hello, everybody. I want to welcome you guys back to Living by Design with me, your host, Amber Williams. And I have a special guest today, Goddess and Body Transformation Expert, Jaime Morocco. Jaime, did I say your last name right?
Yes, you said it perfect.
Okay, guys, it's been so long and we're starting season 3 and it's like the second day of spring. And so I thought this would be like this perfect episode, the perfect person to bring on to really kick off spring. So I'm going to let Jaime introduce herself. Hi, Jaime.
Oh, hi, and thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here, Amber. As you said, my name is Jaime Morocco, and I am a body transformation mentor. I help women all over the world achieve their most aligned body using a combination of science, mindset, and energetics. So
I love that. And you know what? Usually I ask this question at the end, but like I'm feeling I had to put on my crown today because I was like, I'm hanging with the goddess Jaime.
Oh.
I was like, Jaime, what does being a goddess mean to you? Because you're such a goddess.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot, as are you. And I love the crown. It's amazing. It's perfect. What does a goddess mean to me? A goddess means to me that when I tap into my own goddess energy, I'm really in a state of unwavering self-trust. Like I really feel like that's what goddess energy embodies to me, because unwavering self-trust means that like no matter what happens, like I got this, and I got this with grace, and I got this with grit, and I got this with ease, and I got this with flow. So that's what being a goddess means to me.
And that, it feels so like body alignment. So let's just go on and just tap in it. Like, okay, so Jaime, what was the catalyst that guided you to be where you are today? Like, I want everybody to know your story because like I've been building a friendship with you, so I know a little bit about you and I'm learning more. And your background is just like, I know you went to business school, but I want everybody to know like how you got here and what is body transformation.
Totally. So it started when I was really little. I grew up feeling really uncomfortable with my body. My parents were like, could eat whatever they wanted and remain healthy and lean. And for me, I didn't get those genes. It's like they canceled each other out. And I couldn't understand why I didn't look like my friends. Like I was holding extra weight. Like I didn't understand these things, but I did know that I felt uncomfortable in my body. And I was not taking care of myself in a healthy way, so much so that I actually ended up having to have my gallbladder out at age 18, which is like crazy for such a young person to have to go through. I got to college and I decided like now is an opportunity for me to create my life. I get to create this now. I'm not in my small, Massachusetts suburb anymore. I'm in the big city of Boston. Who do I want to create? And I knew that for me, I didn't feel good in my physical body. And I said, if I can start there, I bet I'm going to change my life, because I was like a C student in high school. I barely went. I was like going shopping and out to lunch. And, because I didn't feel good in my body. I didn't feel good about school and all of that.
Yeah.
So I lost over 50 pounds my first year in college, and I became like a straight A student. I had like amazing friendships. I was like, equally like doing well in school. And I was like the club girl. I had like such a fun social life, and my life, like I created it. And I saw what a big difference that body transformation did for me. And I knew that one day I wanted to help other people do the same. So after college, I became a personal trainer, worked at a private studio, and I went to school for entrepreneurship actually. So I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So then I ended up going back to school for a business degree, an MBA in entrepreneurship, because I wanted to figure out what do I want to do? Then ended up working in Silicon Valley for a little while. And on the side, I started building my online fitness business. And that was in 2015, I started it. And then I went all in 2016. And since then, it's just grown, ever since. And that's really, my story, because I feel, a lot of my clients relate with this so much, because I'm not somebody who was like naturally, felt good in her body, right? Like I had to work, I had to learn not just the science, but like the embodiment and like the mindset and like the energy to be able to hold that new identity and new life. So I just love what I do. So that's my story in a nutshell.
That's beautiful. And I feel like women, the word embodiment is like thrown around so much, and I don't feel like a lot of women really understand what it means. Embodiment to me, I feel like it is walking your walk and talking your talk. Like you really own who you are. And so I was just thinking, like the last couple of months for me, I'm not a big person to weigh myself. That's just me. I don't know. I just don't weigh myself. If I have some skinny jeans and I'm back in them, I'm like, oh girl, you done lost a lot of weight. But I know I've lost probably at least 15, 20 pounds in the last couple of months. And it's in the areas where there were like pockets that I couldn't, downsize. It's like, I'm doing all the things, I'm working out. And now I work out less, but it really came from doing like what you teach, the energetic work behind it and just manifesting the body that you want. And I know right now I've been really zoned in on creating this life, like you said, creating this life of my dreams where I went full on. So it's like I'm doing the healing work. And that is one thing. Do you feel what are the women that come to you? What is a lot of the things that are holding them back from stepping in, from embodying their embodiments, losing the weight, creating a life? Is it a lot of fear? Like, what is it that these women are experiencing?
Yeah, that's such a great question. Congratulations also on your success. That is amazing. I would say the biggest thing that holds them back is their belief system about food and also about their body, because we have, ever since, when we were growing up, it was all like the skinnier, the better, right? And it was like, oh, don't eat carbs, that'll make you gain weight. Don't do this. So we have these beliefs that we have grown up with that we have accepted as truth, and we haven't even yet had the opportunity to question. Like I work with a lot of women who are on a spiritual journey, but it's like they've never yet had the opportunity to start to question their beliefs about food. For example, I have so many women that are like, oh, but I'm in my 40s and 50s, like it's going to be harder for me to lose weight. And I'm like, really? Really, do you really think it's going to be harder? So we start to pull that apart. And then I start to show them what the actual research shows, not what we see in the magazines about, losing weight in your 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. So I really get them to question their belief system, because who we are when we're eating matters. And believe it or not, the science supports this. Like eating in a stress state or a state of guilt or shame will actually downregulate our metabolism, right? And you and I both know that food is energy, and we influence, right? Energy. So if we believe that a salad is going to make us gain weight, guess what's likely to happen? So we really do that type of work. And that's what brings the extra edge, because, if you just think that the body transformation process is like, oh, I just got to eat better and work out, like you've experienced, there's a whole other layer that you're not even tapping into, right? Unless you're open to like, wait a second, what are my beliefs about this? So I think that that's the biggest thing. And that's really, the magic that we teach, that I teach people. So.
Yes, the mind, and mindset's so huge when it comes to manifestation. I think people think manifestation is so like airy fairy, like we just sit and just dream about it, and then we just like, oh, poof, it just magically happens. And manifestation is about action. and this body alignment is about action. Like, I know one thing that I always see you every morning, like getting your 10,000 steps in. Tell us about your 10,000 steps. Because I go on the story, I'm like, Jamie's doing her 10,000. She's like, did you get your workout in?
Oh my God, yes. So walking is one of the best exercises that we can do just to get that energy flowing, like in our body, the creative energy, the spiritual energy, and yes, of course, like the more kind of physical energy. So that action really became just a part of my identity. Like, I am just somebody who I get a walk in every day. I show the part on my Instagram. Yes, I do walk every day. People are like, you walking every day? I'm like, I've been sitting most of the day. You're just seeing the Instagram where I'm showing part of how I'm walking, right? And getting my steps in. So the 10,000 steps is something that we teach in our program. Of course, we don't start everybody out. We start people out with where they are. And it's less about like the actual physical 10,000 exactly. It's more about the integration of becoming a woman who moves her body, not in a way that's like, oh, I got to go do a hard boot camp and like burn out, my energy. Like, no, take time to walk, be slow, move the energy through your body. And walking is actually incredibly supportive for permanent, weight loss, because it doesn't spike all those, stress hormones and things like that.
Okay, so to ask a question with that, because this just came through thinking about like people to do boot camps. And so I'll see a lot of women, and I have friends, and they've said those same things. Oh, I'm getting older, I can't lose this weight. And they'll do all these exercises. They'll go to the gym every single day. They'll do boot camps. And when you think about, and then I have a friend and she lost so much weight from walking every day, and how walking is so mindful, is there, and this is what's coming to my mind, like, are you more connected to your body when you're walking than you would be doing in that boot camp since you're going so fast?
So a couple things there. So on a more science, like in the more the 3D science aspect, when we do high intensity activity, like a boot camp or even like a Peloton ride, we create metabolic processes in our body. We spike certain hormones. Our body thinks we're running from a bear. Our body doesn't understand that we are in a class that we really enjoy. And if you do a lot of those classes and you're trying to eat in a calorie deficit to lose weight, the body's actually likelier to burn through muscle tissue versus fat because the body's in a stressed out state. Now, people will say, oh, you're against cardio. No, cardio can be great. But when we're trying to transform the body, we don't want to be cranking out our stress hormones. We don't want to be burning our energy, right? Because if you can imagine, you're already trying to eat in a way to guide the body for weight loss, which is done through a deficit of energy, a deficit of calories. And then you're going to add another stressor on top of it that's going to just make you hungrier, cause cortisol, which is a stress hormone, to spike, and that can make it harder for weight loss. So, so that's why I actually do not recommend for most people high intensity work when you are looking to release weight from the body. If you're just trying to maintain, you do it for fun, stress relief, but you're eating to, make up for what you're burning, that can be great. But when you're working on transforming the body, the rest and the mindfulness and activities that don't spike cortisol in that way are more preferred. And I think what we're going to start to see happen, Amber, is a really big shift, because I think women have just been burning themselves out trying to lose weight. And then they go in their businesses, and then they go into their jobs and have their families. And it's like, we don't have any energy left, So the rest is actually very integral to the transformation.
Yes, that is so. And also, you know what? I don't know. What is your human design?
Manifesting generator.
I knew it wasn't. What is your profile?
Ooh.
Was it a 4, 6, like 5, 1? What is it? Like the number?
6'2".
6'2"? Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Okay. I get that. The wisdom. So I'm a 4, 6 projector. So I get that. So a lot of some of my friends like in the industry are 6'2". So,
Mhm.
okay, yes, I feel that manifesting
Yeah.
generating energy. I wanted to say like, so in your human design, it talks about like your food and stuff like that, your processes with your food. And I know for me, um, just like to talk a little bit of my journey with
Yeah.
food. I literally meat for so long. I didn't know, like, I just had a really slow digestive system.
Mhm.
And I just later on, I came to find out, well, I knew this, but I later came to find out that I wasn't really designed to eat meat, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, I like chicken. And I stopped eating it for so long. And then one summer, it was like my body was just like, you know what? You need some chicken. You need some chicken. And it was like, once I put that chicken back into I don't eat red meat and I'm not a pork
Mhm.
eater, but once in a while, like I crave chicken wings. And when I finally stopped beating myself up
Totally.
about like but your body's telling you it wants chicken wings, Amber. So I'm like, you know what? You're gonna start having these chicken wings, and I'm telling you, when I went back to stop trying to be so
Yeah.
strict on my diet, and I know I see you talk about this a lot about eating what you want. Like I eat what I want. Like I don't try to minimize myself and say like, oh my God, I don't count calories really. I just really listen to my body on
Yeah.
what my body says that I can eat. But I know that came along with, like you said, feeling more comfortable in your body, like appreciating everything about your body, my curves, my little food pop. Like I mean, I just appreciate everything. You know what? I think this is a good segue. If women get into that, like it makes it easier for them to date. I talked to you about dating and I know you're married and everything. And I know like women dieting and dating and like those things, how will they like correlate, of them creating this life for me? Because I know there's a lot of women that just are, especially with social media. I feel like I'm throwing a lot out here. We got social media and dating. It's so much like women don't feel comfortable in their bodies. Like,
Yeah, totally. And when I didn't feel comfortable in my body and I was dating, yes, I was young, I was a teenager and or young adult, but what I found myself doing was trying to seek validation in a man. And
mm,
when we do that, I mean, people pick up on energy, right? I would attract the
mhm,
type of men that would thrive off of controlling, knowing that they had control over my self worth, right? But I was
mhm,
giving up. So
mhm,
I completely agree with you in that, like, there is like when we can reclaim our self worth and practice, like, as fluffy as it sounds, but it's so needed, like the self-love and self-appreciation and focus on the things we love about ourselves, um, then we attract a different type of person, right? Because
you do,
they attract a type of man who realizes that he can't, he doesn't impact our self-worth. So
yeah. And
yeah.
he just loves you for your body and everything about you. I mean, I
Mhm.
just want women to really like, that's one thing about this podcast. This podcast is about creating the life of your dreams and all of these things like soul alignment is all of this. And I feel like this body transformation is a huge part of it because it has so much to do with embodiment. It has so much to do with creating wealth. Health is wealth.
Mhm.
And I'm just thinking in your programs that you do, like, what is it like starting off with? Like, if you could walk us through, like, what is it like starting off with somebody? What do you take them through? Like, what's the process? Because one thing I'm like, everybody that listens to this, at the end, when we're done, I want you to let them know how they can contact you, how they can work with you, because this is what this is about. We shamelessly plugging everything you do. So I want them to know like what the process is when it comes to working with you.
Yeah, totally. So we Really, in our program, we really marry like the masculine energy of doing and science with the feminine of being and more energy and mindset work. So in our program, what we do is I do teach clients a modality that has them start to track their food as an effort to bring awareness to what they're eating, so that they see how does my body respond to this. And what this does is it really starts to neutralize food fear, because when they start tracking what they're eating and also releasing weight, they start to see, wait a second, I had a cookie, but I lost weight. How is this happening? So I and I think people are always like, but you're so like spiritual and you teach like food tracking. I'm like, yes, I do it because it gives people's conscious mind something to ground into. If they can make sense of the science behind why is their body releasing weight, this allows for them to feel more rested, and that like there's a process. It's similar to business, right? Like we track the things that we want to see, we want more sales, so we track it. We track our revenue, right?
Yes.
So same thing. So I take them through the process of weight release in the beginning by teaching them the science of how the body is going to release weight. And we want to keep track of metrics. Once they have achieved their desired size or weight range, I then take them through a process that's called metabolic calibration. So what happens when the body has released weight? The body has, it's changed, right? And what we have to do is we have to sort of wake the metabolism back up. So what we do is we start to add more food, and then the metabolism starts to pick up more speed, and our ladies are actually able to maintain all of their results while eating more food. So we really push the food up and up and up. And this helps really seal the deal and really anchor in the results. And then finally, I teach, the final part of our framework is intuitive eating. So then I teach clients, now that you've learned the science behind body transformation, you've seen you can release weight drinking wine and having pizza, and of course, lots of healthy things too. Now let's almost forget, right, everything that you've learned, and then you start to tune in with your body. And I find that it's a process that works so beautifully for our clients. It's one that I used myself, but a lot of times people will think, okay, I can just like manifest, anything I want, which is, I believe is true. But if our conscious mind doesn't have like a process that's anchored into, it can be very hard to know, how do I maintain those results? Right. So it's really a blend and a mix of like that aligned action, that belief, and that's what really sets people up for a lifetime of success. So that's how
that is and I get all of that, because I feel like I'm such an intuitive eater. People are like, you need to eat this many times a day. Remember, like the old outdated way, they'll be like, you need to do all of this and this, or, and it doesn't feel aligned. I think that people need to understand you have to do, like you said, intuitive eating. What is in alignment with you? We use that word so much, and I just love it. What's best for you, but you know what? A lot of people don't know what's best for them. That's why this is, one of the things I say is personal growth is spiritual growth, because we have to remember we're all spiritual beings having a physical experience. I think we forget about like who we are, and this neutron, just who we are, this miracle, like you said, you are the miracle woman. Like people, they forget who they are, and then they're so hard on themselves, and they think they're not doing the best they are, but we're all doing the best we can with the information, the consciousness that we have at this moment. But the more when we start to really seek out and really tune in to a higher power, those resources, people like you start to pop up, like there's a different way to do this. And that's what people need to know. Like there's a different way to do everything. There's not just one way. We just see all these fad diets that are not good for people. And I see people jump from fad diet to diet, juicing all the time. I thinking it's going to really make them lose weight, but really, like you said, it's doing that deep inner work also, and learning how to intuitively eat and knowing, yeah, just that process that you have to go through that
Yeah.
people see. But I wanted to get into just entrepreneurship, because you and I are both entrepreneurs, and like this journey has been real. And I know your husband is an entrepreneur, and I believe, were your parents entrepreneurs too?
My dad, yeah.
Okay. So like, what it's like, what is it when you told your parents, like, and this is for somebody, I know some people want to hear, like, when you told your parents, this is what I'm going to do, like, what is it? Because I feel like you have a really, really good support system from your parents. But what did they say when you were like, okay, I'm going to focus on body transformation? What was it like?
Yeah, I am, and I know that this story is not often one that we hear, but hey, all stories need to be told.
Yeah.
I am very fortunate in that my dad and my mom were very, very supportive. My
Mhm.
husband and I moved in with them and lived with them
Okay.
for 3 years when we were building
Wow.
our businesses.
Hmm.
And they supported us, and they gave us a place to stay and fed us, and like it's which I'm forever grateful for. But
That's
I
beautiful.
did have that I did have that support system. My dad always told me when I was younger, like, when you work for yourself, you can never get fired, you can make as much money as you want, you can vacation whenever you want, there's no freedom like it. So
Hmm.
I always knew that I was going to be an entrepreneur. I just didn't know how it was going to come about. So for me, I had that, I had that support system, which I'm forever grateful for.
That is so beautiful. People do need to hear stuff like that. I grew up, my parents were entrepreneurs too,
Mhm.
and my dad's like the same way. There was a reason that he went into, because he didn't want to be told what to do. And he wanted, like, I grew up, my dad was home every single day at 6 o'clock,
Mhm.
and we ate together as a family. And so I think it's so important for people to see that, because they think that we always hear like, family doesn't support. And I think that I feel, of course, not everybody's story is the same, but I feel like when you're super clear and very like believe in yourself, and you validate, that's one thing I say, you validate yourself, your family starts to see it, and they believe in you.
Yeah.
And that all comes with like alignment of what you're doing. You trust that what you're doing is in alignment with you. And what about your husband, like, when it comes to body transformation? I know he's probably like all in, and it's like he learns so much from you, and it's just a beautiful, you guys are such a beautiful couple. I just want to say that,
Thank you.
like,
Thank you.
I mean, like, I feel like, I know you said but you guys moved to Miami. You moved to Miami not too long ago, right?
Yeah, a little less than a year ago. Yeah.
So are you loving Miami?
Yeah, we love it. We love
Mhm.
it. And then we were renting this place, and then it was for sale, and that all worked out. So we're like, we
Oh my
bought it.
gosh, can you tell us about that story? Because like that is like, man, I know you talked about this like manifesting last year. I know you did a live, and you were talking about how you last year you felt it was going to be $1 million year,
Yeah.
and this year, do you mind talking about it?
No, let's do
Okay,
it.
okay,
Where do you want me to start? With the house story?
you can start with it. Like, how did it start manifesting? What was your intentions? Like, how did you do it?
Yeah. So last year I started, my goal will be $1 million in my business until I hit it. And then I will, figure out something else. But yeah, my goal for 2021 was like, I really want to have $1 million year.
Okay.
And this house we love this house. We really love it. And we moved here last April, and we were renting it, and it was for sale. And we were at the 6-month mark of our 12-month lease, and the owner was showing it, and she was getting offers. And I said to my husband, we love this house. I don't want to move, you know, like, and plus all the inventory is gone. I mean, we live in an area called Sunny Isles, and like,
Okay.
oh my God, the real estate here just skyrocketed. Like we would have had to pay double in rent for what the place that we live at now. And he was like, okay, let's see, let's, you know, feel it out. And, you know, my husband is the sweetest guy in the world. He didn't want me to, he was like, we're going to make sure you're good, no matter what, with your business, your office, your view, whatever you need. So he's like, whether it's here or somewhere else. I'm like, okay, I love you. Thank you. But I just kept like putting it out there. And, you know, like we weren't sure how it was going to all pan out. And we ended up receiving a very large sum of money, of funds, as a gift. And what the interesting thing was that I did about just under 450 in my business last year, and the gift was 550.
What?
It totaled $1 million. And I was crunching the numbers and I'm like, wait a second, like, hold on. Like you know, I said I wanted $1 million, but you know, I made 450 in my business. And then I was doing the number. I'm like, oh shit, I did generate $1 million. That's crazy. You know, it just didn't come in the way that I had anticipated, but it was generated. And then you go into like, wow, like I had to become that person who could generate that in a year, because the universe, as you and I both know, will give you money when you're an open channel for it in the way of least possible resistance.
Yes.
So it ended up like working out, and we got the house and it all worked out. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is just wild, you know, how it all kind of happened. So that's the story of the house.
Oh, that's beautiful. You know what? I think people get so frustrated, or like, I didn't hit my goal. But then, you know, especially in this world that you and I are in of manifestation, like you said, it came through in another channel. It didn't come all the way through your business, but you did hit that goal, you know, and you have to be so flexible when it comes with manifestation too.
Oh my God, yes.
Because like you said, being that open channel, and that is just part of the work. I feel like that is the work that I am on right now constantly. Because, you know, I know you and I talk about like this year, I invested in another, a mentor, a coach to really focus on my spiritual gifts. And it was a heftier, more investment than like, it's more than what my rent is. You know what I'm saying? It's like massive expansion. But it's like this woman that I know that I always wanted to be, like, she is emerging in front of me every single day. I just look in the mirror and I'm like, you're expanding, and it's so uncomfortable, but like, who wants to be comfortable? Like, nothing happens in the comfort zone, you know?
Totally. It doesn't. And we have to be open to all the ways, like you said, you know, and not feel like, you know, that it has to look exactly like this, or I'm thinking it's exactly like that. And sometimes the mentor ends up being triple what you think, right? But you know, it's all taking us to that next level. So
and it's just me getting used to this new body coming back in. I feel like, you know, I'm 40, I'm about to be 41, and I feel 22. And I was with my uncle yesterday, and he was like, oh my God, you're losing so much weight. And to me, I was like, I feel like I am, but I'm like, when everybody else sees me, I'm like, oh shoot, I am. And it's just like getting used to this body, this new body. It's still my same body, but getting used to it, but everything that's just coming into my life with it. And it's just that's why I'm just like, I love what you do, and I understand what you do, and I see you. I always want to let you know that I see you. I see what you do, because women need this. This is part of the journey. Like, I feel like this is bigger than you, and this is not anything to any business coach or anything, but I would rather you go do the body transformation work first then hiring a business coach next, because it's like you can do all those things that the business coach tell you, but if you don't feel good, if you don't embody it, it's like
Totally.
it's
Totally.
totally, for me, before I hired my mentor, I was like, should I get a sales coach? And I'm like, girl, you know what you're messaging. I need you to embody who you are more, you
Mhm.
know?
Exactly. Because if we don't feel good in our body, people pick up on that in our sales calls, in our photos for our brand, in the way that we conduct our live streams or our master classes, right? So I really feel like the body really is like the gateway to next level expansion.
It is.
And I think that message is so important because I almost feel like a little, sometimes I'm like, shoot, I think I might like trigger some people with this, but it's not about the weight, it's about how you as an individual woman feel in your body, whether that's, a certain weight where society puts that as overweight, or whether it's not. Like, it doesn't matter. It matters how you feel, and you have every right to align yourself to that, because that's when you fully express yourself, because you're no longer worried about the food, the body. How do I look? Oh my God, I'm so worried, right? You feel
Hmm.
like you're just shining through.
Yeah.
So totally agree
And
with
you know what? You could tell those women that are comfortable in their body,
you.
the way they walk, the way they embody it. You online, especially
Yeah.
for me, I could see those people. Like, you embody that. I could see that. And there's other women that I see that I know in this industry, I can just see it, that they're comfortable in who they are. But you can totally tell some other people when they're not comfortable, and it just comes off in just everything they do, and it's just beautiful. I'm excited. So I want everybody to know how they can work with you, where to reach you. Jamie, you want to give them all the things?
Sure, sure. So we are accepting clients inside our Dream Body, Dream Life program. It is fully customized to you, your body, your needs, what feels best for you. And we really teach you not only how do you achieve the body that feels of highest alignment for you, but keep it for the rest of your life. Um,
Mhm.
it's a hybrid between group and one-to-one, so there's just plenty of support, and we really walk shoulder to shoulder with you, and really, we're right there with you and making sure that you achieve the results you desire. So we do have some openings for that, and if that speaks to anybody, feel free to shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram. It's just my name, Jaime Morocco, and I would love to see if we might be able to help you.
Okay. And you know what? I'll make sure in the bio, I always put your Instagram and everything in there. And I really here's a question I want to ask you. What do you feel it means to live by design,
Ooh,
by
I
your own
feel,
design?
yeah, live by design. I feel like, well, the thinking part of my brain feels like it has something to do with human design.
A little
Um,
bit, a
so
little bit.
I think there's something there. But I feel like live by design means that I am the designer and the architect of my life, and my soul knows what that expression looks like. And I have the full power to be able to design the
Mm,
life of my dreams. So
yes, that's what it's all about. That's what we're doing. Designing the life of your dreams, the body of your dreams, and it's spring, so I know whoever's listening to this episode when it airs, like, they're gonna thank us. They're gonna thank you, because there's another way, and maybe they've been looking for that other way, and here it is. And so they need to tune in, they need to tap in, they need to find out how they can work with you, because what you do is so important, and it's truly empowering women. And just with being that manifesting generator, you're like amplifying the energy, so you're empowering these women to really step in and own who they are, own their body, create this life of their dream, create the body of their dreams, call in the man of their dreams,
All of it.
get the beach house of their dreams and
Oh.
travel like in the business of your dreams. So it's so in alignment. And I'm so honored that I got to interview you.
Oh, I'm
And
honored to
so,
be here. I love you.
we're going to go on and wrap it up, but I will let everybody know. And this will be on YouTube and all the places, Apple, every streaming platform. But thank you, Jaime, for coming and letting and sharing your life with us.
Oh, thank you so much, Amber. This is so fun.
You're welcome. All right.